All right, so looking at C1000 today, you can see we're still in the range which we've had for the past couple of days. Okay, same highs, same lows. So what I'm just going to do is extend that range a bit on the top side and extend that range a bit on the bottom side. So it's more or less the same. If price gives us a pattern for a sell, either from current market price by breaking this order block here, or by coming to the top gray zone and forming a pattern like they did yesterday, like they've been doing the past few days. Actually, you can see they actually come, create an M, third leg, then drop here an M, a drop here an M, a drop. So we more or less looking for the same pattern here. If they can give us that same pattern, we're going to see if we can be able to actually catch yourself. But if they come above and stay above, that could be something else. So this, I think, we'll just keep stoking and see if we can be able to catch a trade there. I'm going to leave this one on H1. C3. Let's see. Yesterday they gave a short sell, and again they failed. They failed to come to the gray zone on the bottom here, as you can see. So I'm not sure if you guys managed to catch this one. But I did not take any trades here. So looking at it today, we just want to check if they will stay above the zone which they broke. If they stay above, simply means price can potentially either come back here, create an M, then come back down for sells, or they can actually be bullish. But if we come back below this gray zone, that should actually be a sign for us to actually take sells. Then we can target this order block here, this zone still, and this bottom zone to that range. So for now, I think we should just be patient a bit. Let's see what they want to do here. So our point of interest is currently today's highs. If we break and stay above, this is going to be an uptrend. But if we take out liquidity, come back below and break again below this gray zone and this order block here, that will definitely be a sell. So again, this one will just keep stoking. I'm going to also leave it on H1. Then going to C5. C5, I was looking forward for sales yesterday at the retest of this price line, but you can see the 200 EMA was too strong. It acted as a strong dynamic support. Price failed to break below. So again, we pushed back up. I think we are currently around these highs here. So let's see if we can also extend this zone. Extend this one. Okay, so now these highs here, I think they can also act is a support level for now. Let's see what's going to happen here. If price starts to push down, I still need to see them break below this for me to actually be confident with long-term sell. Otherwise, this price can still extend the current highs, extend these highs as well, and just tap maybe into the 800 EMA and give us a new sell pattern there. That's also what I'll be looking forward to see. So I think we just have to keep stoking. So all these assets we're stoking, all the way from C3 stoking, C1000 stoking, C500 stoking. So going to B5. B5 yesterday, it ended up giving a very good setup after swap. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught it. After swap, they ended up giving a nice setup. So initially we were in buys here. You can see we had this pattern. This was the lowest low. Then price was held on the previous day's low here. So once I saw this pattern and this break, I was anticipating price to come all the way up here. So this was my safe buy area, and this was my scaling, and this was my one runner. So that runner just trickled back and ended up taking me out. Then later on, late at night, same pattern formed, lowest low, order block. And I think I entered this trade somewhere here after I sold this. Then they came down a bit, scaled in here, took profit here, called it a day. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught it. If any of you was stalking on B500. So, anyways, looking at it today now, let's see what we have from the daily. So again, remember yesterday's setup, I also wanted to mention this. It was just like price bouncing off the 200 EMA, acting as a dynamic support. That was the basis of that setup. So the first attempt was a loss, then the second one managed to catch it. So looking at it today, two things can happen. They can still come towards the 200 EMA and hit us again before we push up, or we could actually get a push up being a retracement. You can see, I would love to see price maybe get here. And all these retracements have been like two candles, two candles. Here we got three, here we got two. So we might get a bullish day again today. So if we can get a buy pattern, I think we can also buy a short-term buy trade today. So let's see what we have on H1. So from the higher time frame, we've got a potential to push up. So what we'll notice here is from this lowest low, which we have from yesterday, if you're on H1, this is your last order block or your last zone. So now you notice we had a break, the first retest, the second retest, which took out the lows, the earlier lows from the morning. Right there, you can see these lows have been taken out. So now there's a chance that price can actually push up. So let's see. Right now we're trading above the 13 EMA. That sort of gives us that buying bias which we want. Okay, so 11:16, just checking what time this H1 will close. So if you notice again, just above that safe buy line, we have the 50 EMA, which is going to act as a dynamic resistance. So we need a very convincing move here for us to actually buy this. Otherwise, it might just pass, but be held by this dynamic resistance and still continue pushing down since this overall is a downtrend. So I think we just want to pay attention to that H1 there. Let's see if M15 is good, something we can use. Okay, I'm going to check M30. Okay, M30 is sitting right on the zone and right on the 50 EMA. TDI also it's going to bounce off the 50 static. From M30, I feel like this setup can actually play out if we break this. As soon as we break this red line, because price will most likely be heading towards the 200 EMA. So I would say let's just keep an eye on price. If we can break above 56, let's say 56.10. If we can break above 56.10 with a convincing move or a convincing candle, then we can take a buy. But again, it's going to be a short term. It's still short term buy since we are buying retracement. So yeah, I think for now that will be my view. But again, just know price can do what it did yesterday. You can see yesterday initially we had a pattern, convincing close above, but it failed to push up, and these lows were extended before the pattern formed again. So that could also happen today. So just keep an eye on that as well, because you might find out that price might actually want to come even back to this order block from yesterday. They can even do that. So just keep an eye also on 55 as a point of interest. Okay, so that's it for B5. Let's just check maybe M15. Let's see how it's looking like. Okay, safer buys might have to be above the second red line, which will be above the 200 EMA. So Yeah, we'll keep stoking on this. We just have to keep heavily stoking on it until we get something we can use. So going to be 1000 took us out yesterday. You can see the setup we had. Our safe buy, however, was right above this price. So when I saw this move, I was like, you know what, this price looks like it's now got that momentum to push up and continue as we had anticipated. So what happened is from here, price then fell into the range, this range of that same candle. The range was pretty big. I think it was about 50 or so pips, even more. Let's see. It was about, yeah, 55, almost 60 pips. We stayed in this range for about 2, 3 hours before price took me out. So this one failed. Price was basically bearish here. You can see we're trading below the 50 EMA. So we failed to come above. So the selling motion just continued. So I didn't even attempt to take any trades because nothing really showed. So looking at it today, let's see, I would say from the daily, we agree we are bearish, but we can most likely get some spikes when we get to the 50 EMA. When we get somewhere there, we'll most likely get some spikes. So let me just see. Okay, you can see it's lining up with this zone here. If you look to the left, we've got a spike from this day. Then we've got a spike from this day. So for me, that's a significant zone right there. Initially, it was a resistance, broken, retested, then price pushed up. So now this price is coming back to that same area. So I think I'll also just leave a black line there. So that will be on 50, 15,510. We can, let me actually use just a red line. We can just wait for price on 15,610. Okay, let's confirm that the price is right here. Oh, I'm talking the wrong things. Yeah, 15,510, actually, 15,510. Okay, so that's a point of interest. Once price gets inside 15,510, we can actively stoke it for a potential buy. The setup will most likely be like B5. Remember, B5 was on the 200 EMA. So initially they tried to move, then they extended the low. So when we come to B1, once we get to that area, let's see on M15, you can see that area there on M15, it's slightly on the bottom. If we can get there, I think that would be the best area to look for buys. But however, let's say price decides to push from where we are right now. Let's see price just decides to push. Let's see this high here. Okay, if price breaks today's highs, I might consider a short-term buy. If we break today's highs, which is this level. So remember on H1, we're already above the 13 EMA. Why I know is because this 50 EMA on M15 is your 13 EMA on H1. So let's just confirm if that's true. So as you can see, if we zoom in, there we go. We're slightly above the 13 EMA. So that buy can potentially happen. If we can break today's highs, we can actually get a buy. So let's just keep stoking on our B1000 as well. I'm just going to use a gray line to mark today's high. So let's say maybe we get like a spike and it closes up here. We're going to wait for a potential retracement for a potential continuation. So this zone for me, I think it's a significant zone for us to actually buy because price is actually intraday. We've got that bullish delivery of price. So if we can come back above today's highs, I think we can get a short-term buy. But if we scroll, if price pushes down and comes to this red line as well, that's also a point of interest where we can buy from. So that's my view on B1000, and I'm going to leave it on M15. Then going to step index. Yesterday, what happened? How were we looking at this? Let's see. The daily will tell us the story. Okay, so from the daily, I remember we're talking about price pushing down, if I'm not mistaken. Price continued to hug the 13 EMA, which means the sell motion was strong. Sell motion was strong, and anyway, in these areas, that's where we look for trades. So you can see how the chart was marked and how price came and bounced off this area and gave some nice doji candles there, inverted hammer. M15, you could have found a nice pattern as well. So if you look at this is the last lower high, this is your order block. Price comes, you can sell here, but your stop loss has to be outside the range. So price comes back, then comes back down below that order block, breaks and retests both this and this one. So you could still have sold right there and even taken profit right here. So looking at it today now, is price retracing, that could be possible as well, especially looking at how yesterday's candle closed. Today could actually be a retracement day, but price will most likely maybe get to around 8 to 12. That's possible. We can most likely maybe also get towards the 13 EMA, also possible. We can only sell this if the day's candle turns bearish. That's when we can start looking for sells again. But as it stands right now, I would say if we are above the 13 EMA and if we can get a buy set up, we can look for buys, short-term buys, and target this level here. You can see this level was broken and not retested. So price can still come take out anyone who's trailing these sells, take them out, then still drop. That's also a possible play. So as long as we stay above this order block, this price will go up. But if we do come below and the current day's candle turns bearish, then we can start looking for sells. So I think that's the best way to approach step index if you're trading it. I won't be executing any trades on this today. Then J10, we also mentioned that if you're looking for buys, it was pretty simple. I hope one of you guys caught it. One of you caught it with a nice fair value gap there. Price respected it twice, then they broke the trend line. And we mentioned if you're looking for buys, maybe look for something like this. A break, a retest, of which that's what eventually happened. The first retest, second retest, then price pushed all the way to the top of the range we have. This range, I think, is visible from the daily. There we go. So we hit the top, took our liquidity. Now we are in a sell motion. H4 sell motion. Depending with how H4 closes, price might actually be able to push to the bottom side today, but we'll have to wait and see. Where can we sell from? Price is broken in structure. We need a retracement for us to be able to take a sell. So from wherever price decides to retrace from, you can actually run a fib inside there. Then we'll wait for a retracement, then we can take a sell. For now, I'll say that's the only setup I'm seeing based on how price action is looking like or how these candles are looking like. If we can get a retracement back into the order block, which is this one, this OB here, or if we can get a retracement back into this broken zone, we can actually look for sells. But I'll try to keep checking on it as well. Maybe I might actually execute a trade on it because this looks like right. So these two red lines are my points of interest for sells. But wherever they start to retrace from, I'll just run a fib and see if I can be able to get a sell setup. But if price shows something else, then I don't think I'll trade it because for now I'm only seeing that sell. So I think that's it. That's it for J10. Step index will also keep stalking just to check. B1, we're waiting for a break of this level for a potential short-term buy or for price to come into this level. This is a high probability point of interest, this one on the bottom. So we'll be waiting for price to get in there. That this on the bottom is around 15 510. I think mentioned all these prices. Then B5, we're waiting to see how they're going to react where they currently are. It's either they will push up for us to actually take buys, which will still be short term, or they will come down into this particular order block, which was broken yesterday, for a potential short term buy again. But I'll just keep stalking. And if a setup appears, I'll let you guys know. But for now, there's nothing because if you notice, TDI is even below the yellow baseline. So there's nothing for now. We might actually want to see an impulsive move first, then wait for the retracement, then jump in. Then C5, we're stalking to see if they will come touch the 800 EMA or this gray zone above before we get a sell pattern. So this one we're also stalking. C1, same thing, waiting for price to react with the top zone or at least break this order block for us to consider sells. Then C300 looks like, okay, it will depend. If we do come back below the zone and below this order block, we're going to look for a short-term sell until we come below the 50 EMA. If we don't do this, potential liquidity sweep here for a sell to still happen, or price will actually push up. So that's a quick recap of what we were talking about. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. If you still have questions, maybe now is the time. Is there anybody with a question? If there's anybody with a question, if you watched that other session we had, I hope you took some notes, and I'm still waiting for your feedback to see if you guys got any pointers. Can you check C5? Yeah, C5 we already spoke about it. C5 we said we're waiting. We've got this range here. These highs on H1. So we're waiting for price to show us something. For now, we are actually above the 13 EMA. So intraday we are bullish. Price can continue pushing up, but at the same time, we're saying we've got the 800 EMA right here. So can it act as a dynamic resistance, and can we get this price coming back below the zone for us to actually look for a sell setup? That's what we're waiting for. So if they give us that touch here and they come back down, we need that close below the 13 for us to consider sells. Because as much as they've been trying to react from this same level, you can see the sells haven't been really dropping. So we just want to be careful with price here. On the daily, you can see the only thing which I'm looking forward to is probably a touch of the 50 EMA. That 50 EMA is the same with the 800 EMA on H1. So that's why I just left it on H1. So let's also try to be patient with it. If they decide to drop, allow them to drop and give us that impulsive push first and give us a close below the 13 before we start looking for a sell. So yeah, that's it for C5. Is there any other question? Right. If there is no other questions, thank you so much, guys, for making time. I'll still be communicating throughout the day on Telegram. All right, you're welcome, bro. I'll still be communicating because most of the setups right now is still stalking. There's nothing which is active yet. So I'll still be updating throughout the day. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. Good day.